Hello, everyone. Welcome to the BowHunterPlanet Podcast.
The BHP Podcast is presented by BowHunterPlanet.com. Join the hunt.
Support for this podcast is provided by Grind Life Coffee, Burris Optics, Skull Hooker, Scott Archery, and Cold Steel Knives.
Hey everyone, this is Tim from BowHunterPlanet. Make sure you check out the new podcast, Respect the Game, wherever you find your podcasts.
Let's mount up!
Hello, welcome to the BowHunterPlanet.com podcast. It's a good night, and tonight we got No in the house, Bobby McGee, Uncle Bob, Tim the Maz, and myself, Dave Thomas. How's everybody doing out there? Good?
Excellent.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to go silent.
I was.
6. Give it a 6 out of 10.
Are you talking to me?
I got to work
Are
tomorrow.
you talking to me?
So today we're going to talk about phobias. So this is moving on from a conversation we had. So we had a full podcast about what can happen to you in the field, like getting bit in the butt, getting a rash on your hiney, stuff like that. But the whole podcast failed miserably when the computer fell apart. So we're restarting this concept. But I think now we should talk about phobias, things you're actually a little bit nervous about in the field.
I'm afraid of the dark.
I already knew that. But no, seriously, what's something that's creepy? Let's start with no boom. We'll just go to each person. What's something that to you is a phobia about being in the woods when you're hunting that creeps you out? Or
Well, the most is like your hunting partner getting lost in the woods and then you gotta go find them. That's kind of a phobia. You know, they ruin the whole hunt walking around because they can't find their spot. That's one of my biggest.
that's just
phobias.
a pet peeve, not a phobia.
Who are you talking about? Who are you
No.
talking about,
I
Dave?
don't know. Phobias, I don't. Well, now
What are you
it's-
scared of?
Now
What
it's
are you
now
scared
it's the stinking hawks because they attack me once a year. That's my phobia. I really don't have much. You know, I do. You know, back in the day before I had a harness, I had a phobia of falling out of the tree.
Oh my
It's kind of gone away a little bit. So I don't know.
Have you ever been experienced to climbing tree stands?
Don't like those.
You have any
Not a
experiences
fan.
with it?
I tried one. I'm not gonna ever do it again. Just
Does it
not,
make you
just not
nervous,
for me.
or-
Yeah, it does make me nervous. You know, I don't mind being like, especially ladder stands, no problem. But like you want to Ron stands, that gives me a phobia because there's 6 feet between each step, and only he can
It's
get in.
third, and you gotta climb up past the steps, hang on 2 branches, do a pull up, and then try
I'm
to
like-
get in your tree stand.
And I know why he does it because he knows nobody will hunt there. It's
Nobody
smart.
will hunt it. That's exactly why he does it.
Gosh,
Oh, you want
I
to
love
hunt?
'em.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, you can get up my stand. Feel free. It's a little bit hard to get into because the 6-foot gap between the steps. But
Yeah, go ahead.
Ron, every spot I've been at Ron's back home here, this area, is like the scariest thing to get into. Like I'm like, he actually added a lifeline, you know, and so I always use it now when I go in and out of stands because it just literally creeps me out. It's like because he's taller, so his steps are literally instead of like 1.5 feet or whatever would normally be your normal, his is like at least 25% higher than that. So every time you go to make that step, it's different than you think.
Plus the fact he sticks his stands 25 to 30
feet up,
into
yeah.
a tree.
Yeah, it's
Ridiculous.
it's kind of crazy. Like it's a little scary.
So
I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, heights is the problem, right? Your phobia is falling.
Well, yeah, if I'm secure, I'm not worried. It's if I'm not secure that I get worried. Like in Canada, when you're just climbing in some wooden stand that some dude made 20 years ago, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and that was a little creepy for a minute. Then you get used to it.
Then you feel the warm and fuzzies, or
Yeah.
because the last thing I saw was you shaking like a leaf when that big old bear came out.
Yeah, well.
All I see is this.
You always know my rebuttal to that. It's sitting on the wall over there. I can barely see it. That bathroom rug.
Oh snap!
Little baby deer.
It's coming up. It's gonna come eat me.
That little cub's coming.
It's a little. He just wants to be
It's
play.
so cute.
He just wants to be. Just wanted to be hugged.
Wants to fish a ball.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like when I saw those bears, I really thought they were a lot bigger than they were. Like I'm not kidding. I was
Everybody
like,
does.
I thought it was like when you see a grizzly bear size. That's what I thought
Yeah.
it was. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Everybody does.
It's so hard to literally understand the size differences, like when
Right.
you're in the field. Like until you like have done it and start to understand what they can and cannot look like and all that. Like I I mean, my bear was so small, and I thought literally.
Well, you
I shot
have
a
no
massive bear.
you have no idea how to judge it.
It's like a deer. I gotta imagine, because a deer by itself always looks bigger than what it actually is.
That's an interesting point. Now I can tell, but there's aspects of a deer I look at, like the face. I can tell if it's small, but also
I don't know how many times I've seen people shoot a big doe.
Yeah.
And
it's 100
it
pounds.
wasn't a big doe.
Right.
I can tell now when I see like this year's a good example. I saw a deer run across the field, and I thought, oh, here we go. I'm like, oh, if it's a doe, I'm shooting it. It could be a medium doe, whatever. And I look in, and then all of a sudden I see another deer, and they're about the same size, right? And I'm like, okay, and it's a button buck. I could tell it's a button buck, right? So I'm like, well, that's got to be a small deer. And then sure enough, you see the mom, you're like, oh my gosh, like literally double, triple the size of these deer. So it's like it is hard to but if you got to look at other aspects. But I think a bear, like I don't know those aspects. I've never hunted them enough to know. Like, hey, look at the face, look
how wide it is,
look how wide
look
the
at the
ears
snout.
are.
That's one of the major reasons when we go bear hunting. I like having a bait barrel, a 55-gallon drum set up, because you can judge that size of the bear by the size of the drum.
Can you, Dave?
I don't know.
Can you judge a bear by the size of the bait barrel?
Yes, if the barrel is in half, like if it's still standing.
Yeah,
it wasn't standing for me.
Well, everybody, their first bear hunt they go on, you have a tendency to shoot the first friggin' bear you see.
It was actually the second bear I saw, but I still didn't know.
And I
would probably do that.
Yeah, you have no inkling how to judge the size
Well, I
of
think
it.
part of that, though, too, is to say, I paid for this. I'm going to shoot something. What if I don't see anything else?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
that
a
runs
huge...
through your head.
I can be patient with deer now, but there's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I
You shoot the
couldn't be
first
patient.
friggin' thing that would walk out in front of you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, once the barrel was knocked over, it really messed me up because I wasn't exactly sure anymore. I mean, I should have known when the bear went in the barrel and disappeared that it was
Disappeared. It's a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh, no.
I was sitting there thinking.
Did I say
I'm not
bait
gonna lie.
barrel? I meant bait bucket.
The bucket, yeah. Listen, I was seriously sitting there thinking, like, this is crazy. Someone could walk up and never know this bear's inside the barrel. They just think the barrel's knocked over. They're going to pick it up.
See,
And
you should have known, because when the bear carries the bait away and the bait's bigger than the bear, that's usually an inkling.
You know what's
That might
weird?
be a
I
small
watched that bear eat for a long time, and at no point did it touch the juicy, fat, juicy sausages that were sitting there.
Right.
He ate everything else. But he literally, I mean, he might eat it at the end, I don't know, later the next day, but they didn't eat the meat. Like, it was just a big chunk of sausage or something sitting there. And he just
What screwed Kevin and I up, and we did the spring hunt in Quebec a couple years ago. The bears actually look bigger because their hair's longer.
Ah,
I couldn't even imagine.
yeah.
So
Because they sell their winter coats?
they still have their winter coats, and they're just out of hibernation. So the hair's probably 6 to 8 inches long on the bear. So it looks like an extremely big bear.
This is why I can't go. I mean, I'd be like, here we go. We got a big one coming in.
That's what
oh, my God.
That's what we thought. I text Kevin. I just shot the biggest bear I think I've ever shot, and it come out to be
85.
right around 200 pounds. But I thought for
But
sure.
is that because it lost all its weight too, though? Because it's a spring bear?
Well, they lose their weight, but the hair makes up for that.
Yeah.
But would that have been a 260, 270 pounder in
Yes.
the fall?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Right.
200,
Once it
200
put
in the
on,
spring probably isn't as bad.
Once
as
it
that.
is-
You know what I mean?
Guys.
once it ate all summer and stuff,
Ray
by
had a
fall
big,
they said this would be a
skull.
300-pound bear.
Does the weight even matter?
Not really.
Let's be honest.
Not really.
I mean, I shot a beautiful bear.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I've heard size matters.
Depending on who you talk to.
I can't say what I was going to say. It's not appropriate for this channel.
What are you
but
talking about?
Nothing.
So anyway, phobias. Let's get back
Phobias.
on topic.
All right,
Bob,
Bob's
you're up.
I've got an avid, not so much here in Michigan, but down south and out west, snakes.
How could this ever come to be? The strangest illusion of all time. The head of a lovely girl and the body of an ugly snake. She is positively alive and moving around on the inside of this cage. The angel, the snake girl, with the head of a lovely girl and the body of an ugly
I
snake.
do not like hearing a rattle go off as you're walking.
I can see that.
Yeah, something about snakes. Kevin and I, for the first time when we went out to South Dakota this past year, it's the first time we broke down and bought
The snake boots.
Well, actually, the first time we went out, I won't name the company, but they had snake boots, and we used them out there. Our legs were so rubbed out and raw from the way the boot was manufactured. We actually went out and bought chaps, gaiters, knee-high gaiters.
Not gator boots.
No.
Gator, but
Gaiters that had heavy plastic in them, and they wrapped around your leg like a snow gator.
Not gator
What kind of
waders.
what kind of chaps?
How'd you like them, chaps?
bootyless. I bet you did. Wait, this is you and Kevin? Yeah, okay.
Staying together in a tent.
No, motorhome.
Oh,
I think they
snap.
made a movie about that.
Didn't take him long to pitch that tent.
All right, back to phobias. What we got? What we got, Bob? What else?
I tend to agree with Jamie. I don't like, not anymore. Younger, it still scared me to death to use a climber. Something about the climber I did not like.
Yeah, I'm a ground blind hunter, and maybe I was gonna say there's not. I don't know. I don't have a lot of phobias. Like, I don't like the dark, but it doesn't like freak me out. I don't want to get lost. That doesn't like freak me out. But maybe my phobia is like just heights, because I hunt in a ground blind because I don't want to sit in a tree stand. Like, I just don't. I don't know. I'm not as. Maybe that's what it is.
The other major phobia, and I forgot to mention it, was bear hunting in Canada.
Just in general.
Well, after you arrow or shoot a bear, you've got to go track it. Canada, because of the fact that you can't have a sidearm with you, you're looking for a wounded bear, possibly, and you've got a knife.
Bear spray.
Yeah.
Just choking to death.
Just beat it.
Jump on it. Jump on that bear.
Just beat it to death.
So you have to fight a black bear, right? You can't play dead with a black bear. You have to fight.
I'm not sure.
I think that's the.
I thought
I think that's.
it was grizzly and brown. You faked like you're dead, and black bear you have to fight.
Yeah, you dominate. Not necessarily fight,
Well.
but like, hey bear, hey, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's I'm on the same page with you on that one.
When you watch a 150, 175 pound black bear rip a 55-gallon drum off a tree, you can fight it.
Yeah,
you ain't going to
your
win.
Your instincts to run, they're gonna catch you though.
Yeah. Yeah, that would stink.
Yeah.
You'd be dead.
You'd be dead.
You'd be dead as a nail.
Yeah, so my biggest fear though is not having a cell phone signal. Not gonna lie. So
If your
boring. So
Fortnite account
boring.
goes down.
So boring. No. Just like Netflix.
Tim Netflix is in chills.
Oh, that's gross.
It would be so boring without it, you know? I don't know.
I'm trying to think
I'm gonna
what we
get
used
so
to-
much flack
What
for
we
that
used
one,
to
but
do without the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember when
I think that's for the longest time. Like,
I never had the right clothes when I hunted with my dad, right?
Yeah.
The shitty, sorry, I swore, whatever. And the wire boots, right?
Yeah.
And just a jacket. And then he'd just sit me in the corner and be like, stop sniffling, quit moving. Then you're just sitting there like this for 4 hours going,
sounds eerily familiar to Kids Weekend.
you just gotta follow directions. I let them play video games.
Don't-
I got hand warmers.
Just
and
follow
shit.
me. You don't trip over that string.
There's a deer right there.
Don't-
Shut up.
Shut up. Stop moving.
Don't walk in
Hey,
front of me.
Jamie, how'd you guys do it today? He wouldn't stop moving.
My biggest rule is don't walk in front of me when I have a weapon, because it could be a gun, whatever. And every time I turn around, dude's right in front of me. I'm like, listen. And then we get to the blind, right? And I got all the strings down for the blind, like the tent. I'm like, you got to follow right behind me so you don't trip over
They
these.
trip.
Did you say it like that, though, or did you say,
No,
don't you trip it, blind. You stay away from
no,
the
I was
blind.
trying to be quiet because we were hunting. I get behind the blind to the door, and I look back, and he's still standing where I left him. I'm like, what are you doing? And then, of course, he walks straight through and trips over.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So,
that's so
speaking of
funny.
that, well, I guess we get into Kid Weekend later, but
Well,
yeah,
what's your biggest phobia, Dave? We didn't talk about that yet.
I don't have phobias. I'm scared of nothing.
Baloney.
I know one phobia.
I'm not a huge fan of heights, but I do it. I just don't look down, and it works fine. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of. I'm not a big fan of getting high.
I did it.
What?
Yeah. What?
What?
That's good to know.
What is this? What is this? The Rogan show?
Oh, yeah, it's the wrong podcast.
I wouldn't say I have a phobia of spiders, but like I don't really want it on me. So if it landed on me, I might do like the quick jerk to get it off. But I'm not really scared. I don't like snakes, but I'm not scared of them. But like
Michigan
it creeps
snakes,
me out.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm not hugely scared. But I was telling you guys earlier about the black mamba, the stick-looking snake. Dude, that to me is like the creepiest thing. If you were like out in the field and it posed up like that and tried to hit you.
I don't know if I would. I would be scared if I was with like my kids at that point.
I'm saying even without kids, I have a phobia getting lost in the woods. I don't like that feeling. So like if I'm not paying attention,
I think that's why I don't like the dark, because the times that like I have been lost, can't find my stand, it's always dark out, and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah,
It's not bad in bow season. It's gun season where you start freaking
Yeah,
out. You know
yeah,
your
yeah.
neighbors are idiots, and then
Yeah.
you're looking around
I get
going,
like
oh my god, they're gonna shoot me.
I get antsy. Is that the word I'm looking for? No, like you get butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
Get nervous.
Nervous.
So like if I'm not in my stand when I'm supposed to be, I start to get nervous because I feel like I'm gonna lose daylight. I'm gonna scare the deer. I'm wasting my time. So I start to get like all this building up on me when I'm looking for my stand if I'm lost. And one day that happened to me. I was at state land. I went to this spot and I thought I had it. I was like, oh, I think I told the story in here before, but I had a GPS and I kept hitting the light on. But every time I hit the light, it put that as my point. So if I said go to stand, it was going, but the light was shut off and it's pitch black. I can't see it, so I had to hit the button, turn the light on. Every time I hit the button, this thing it would like that was the spot, but it didn't. I didn't realize that was happening. So I'm like going around in circles forever, and I'm like, I know what's around here, and out of nowhere the flash went off on my old-fashioned trail cam because at the time it had a flash, and it scared the crap out of me. I just like
Aliens.
Wasn't there one time you got left in the woods too?
that was scary twice.
Twice.
Not just left in the woods.
At what point do you
left.
think it's you?
Left behind? Not just left in the woods, but left behind.
At what point do you think
Who was that? Brian?
maybe they did
Brian and Ron, they left me behind twice now, where they drove off, like left. Like I got to the cars.
Where's Dave? Didn't you get him? No, didn't you get him?
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. They got back to the house camp
Blame
where we're
them.
at, way out nowhere. How dare you, no? How dare you?
Little pissed they went back and looked for him, actually.
The scary part about that,
It's close.
I know. It's going to have been so... Oh, man.
Just
it could have
kidding,
been...
buddy. High five.
the scary part about it was not that I got left behind, but was that I got on my stand, I went across this field, I looked.
Was gone.
No. This is nowhere near. This is a mile in. So I look over to all the areas that people are. There's no lights coming. It's getting darker and darker and darker, and there's no lights. So, being a good friend that I am, I was like, I should probably walk back to Ron's spot and make sure he didn't fall because he was closest to me, and I thought he was not coming out. I see no lights. I see nothing. It's pretty much black. So I walk all the way back to a stand, which I come out of this field, walk all the way to the trail, then I walk all the way back to the other corner where he is, deep in, and I go in the woods. I'm going in the woods, like 50 yards in the woods, and I'm looking. I see a stand. I see no bodies or anything on the ground. Look, I don't know what to do. So I turn around. This is all pitch black now. I'm leaving. I get out to the main walkway. Then that goes, like I said, a mile and a half out of the woods. Not like where we hunt today. It's not like that. It's pitch woods, like solid woods. So I'm walking out, and I'm getting nervous because there's no lights nowhere. I see nobody's lights. I'm like, what, did everybody fall? Like, what is going on? Did someone fall, and they took them out of here in an emergency, and they had to leave me because they're, get up to the cars, no cars. I'm like, no phones. This is before cell phones. There's no phones. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, do I walk? It's like miles to the house where we're staying. I'm like, I don't. So I started walking.
What do you do?
So they
I started
two
walking.
cars. So they just assumed the other one had you.
Yes.
Oh.
So they
So
pull
who
up.
did you come
So I
with?
see these lights coming after a while, right? This is Brian. I came with Brian.
Yeah, his
No.
fault.
Yes, I came with Brian. So they come back and they so they open the door and they don't even look at me because they know they're about to get it. They know it. And I'm just like, what the is going on? They just both look straight. Swear to God, never once they look back.
I
at
can
all.
totally see Brian doing that.
Both
too.
of them just looking straight. They're like, get in. I was like, what? What do you mean, get in? What has happened?
I'd have been like, dude, where have you been? We've been looking all over for
oh,
you.
it's so bad.
I would have totally
We
blamed
called the
you.
cops and
Would have
everything.
totally blamed you.
Check your
What do you
stand.
mean you walk back to my blind? We were waiting right here for
It
you.
was so bad. And then it was fine. I mean, I laughed it off after a beer or two.
man.
But anyway,
That's
so
why.
back to-
I do like driving out by myself and having my own source of transportation. Like everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, you drop me off here. You drop me off here." I'm like, "Yeah, cool," but I'm not driving with you.
That's the thing. They were freaking me out at bear camp. Like I was freaked out about.
Oh, yeah.
That
the
was
whole-
really far.
Like if you're
That
the
kind of drove
first
me.
guy- if you're the first guy and the
Yep,
last guy
I
gets
was
a bear,
just
oh, you
gonna
could
say.
be up in the stand till 2 a.m.
Yep, I was just gonna say.
What? You out of your mind?
When we went to Quebec, I was the last guy to be picked up, and this is no joke. It gets dark 7, 8 o'clock.
yeah, we're not talking normal woods. We're talking
Yeah,
wolves,
thick,
Yeah.
thick
scary
woods.
animals, like not.
It gets dark, and
Sasquatch.
and they drilled it into our heads: do not get out of the stand till I come to get you. Now you're sitting in the stand. Here
Ground
it is,
blind or stand?
tree stand. Here it is, 1 o'clock in the morning, and nobody's picked me up yet.
That's what happened to Ron. He slept with a shotgun between his legs, scared.
Yeah, I actually got worried. Like, started worrying. You're like you say.
Wait a minute. Where's that Bob guy?
There's 20, 30 miles between you and the
Oh,
next
it's not-
guy,
There's no joke there.
and you keep thinking, I wonder if they forgot me.
After about an hour, I'd be getting
All
down and
these things
making
go
a
through your
fire.
head.
I wonder if they
Big-ass
forgot me. And you hear stuff in the woods, and you
That
can't
would
see it.
So that would freak me
Well,
out.
especially there. This is, I'm telling you, Tim, this landscape, this
That
is
would
this
freak
is
me out.
where he was at was worse than where we were. And where we were was really intense. Like, I was like,
I think
this
the
is...
most I had to wait was an hour after dark, but I was like,
So when I got down...
Even an hour, like
So I shot my bear. And I got down because I was creeped out because this bear kept coming back. It was touching my tree. And so I got scared. And I shot the bear, the other different bear, came back, got down. I got out. I backed out to the road. It wasn't that far from the road to my stand. But Bob was 2 miles, 3 miles up the trail.
Up the
main
road.
logging
All I remember about that is me walking up and you standing on the road. You guys are crazy, man. This is nuts.
So
yeah, yeah.
It was creepy. And I remember, but what happens, I'm walking.
But it's a combination of like being out there and not being able to communicate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
right.
that's
You
You know
part
what I
of
mean?
it.
Like if you had, and I guess it goes back to like my cell phone signal thing. Like
At least
I'm
you
half
can-
serious about the Netflix thing, but like for real, it's about the communication.
Well, but where we hunt,
You
it's not a
fa-
big
you
deal.
fall
You can
out
walk in.
there.
Yeah.
You sit.
No, yeah.
Yeah, at least in Michigan,
You
you
get-
know, you can text whoever
Right.
you're hunting with and say,
Right.
"Are you all right? Have
Yeah.
you seen anything? And
Yeah.
Have you done this?" And you feel connected. But up in Canada, it's like no way.
I wonder if anything's ever happened.
I have to. Can't
with
hear you
those
though.
guys.
Can't hear you.
I wonder
over
if anything's ever happened. Like
Someone's
you know what I
had
mean?
to have gotten hurt. I would say that it was the creepiest part again was walking between me and Bob because there was a stretch, and I started thinking, and I'm like, "Hey man, this is probably a really bad idea." Like now I'm on the ground level. There's bear out here. There's moose.
There's
wolves.
wolves.
And I'm thinking like I gotta get. So I started jogging like up this. It was a pretty. I mean it's like a road size dirt road. But I remember getting up to the truck, and it was uphill, of course. So I get up.
Oh,
to
we
this
were
truck.
two, maybe 3 miles apart.
I mean, it was really stupid for me to get down, but I get to this truck and I see the truck and I walk over and Bob left it open. I was like, oh, thank God he left it open, but I couldn't find the keys. I'm like, dang, because I want to start turning the air on because at this point I'm hot.
Yeah.
And then the bugs, dude, never forget it. The bugs went ballistic on me. There was flies all around the truck, just smashing the window. Just imagine looking at a window and seeing things just run right
I
into
had
it.
like
Gross.
two
It was nasty.
thermocells running.
Yeah, it was bad. But anyway, back to the scary thing. So one time I was out with Connor. I took him out to this 20 acres in the Thumb area where we leased it a long time ago. It was like this 20 acres. So I took out there with Kevin's machine. And we were going to just knock some trees over, try and make some room, put some food plots in, whatever. Just me and him. I figured it'd be good, father, son, This is like at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, at this point, right? So we park it and let's go walk, up to the other tree stand. So we walk up to the stand. Well, at some point, I get a little bit turned around, and so between the machine and the stand, I'm a little bit lost now. So I'm like, I'm not quite sure. You know that feeling like the way you can't remember like which direction you even came from. So then I start getting nervous because I'm like, I gotta, at this point he's got to be like 5, right? I got a 5-year-old. I'm on the ground. I've already had coyotes come in on me here. I know they're around. I'm not extremely worried about coyotes, but now I'm just worried about getting lost.
Right.
What is he gonna drink? What's he gonna? You know what I mean? Like, so then I start thinking like, all right, I'm gonna have to like get creative here, and like, so I started trying to get a little bit of high ground, like stepping on trees and like down trees, just trying to look around, just for Kevin's machine, because at this point I couldn't remember where I put the machine. So finally, I like took a couple feet walk, and it was really not that far, but it just that moment I'll never forget it because I remember just feeling fear and panic in my body because I was like, got my son. I'm out here. It's just him and me. There's no one else up north here. It's just us. And I'm looking around. And I can't. Now I lost the machine somehow, right? Because I just got twisted. And now I'm like, this could be bad. This could be bad.
Was that the machine he has now?
Yes.
You should have left it there.
No, that used to
Should've
happen to me
bogged
at
it
my
down.
dad's property. Like at night, getting a deer out of those woods because there's no trails. You can't tell which way you come in and when it's pitch black.
Yeah.
Like me and my buddy, when that big 10-point, we're dragging it south. Like if my dad wasn't there, after about 10 feet, he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" He goes, "It's back this way." Like if it was just me and him, I would have dragged it a mile through
In the wrong direction.
In the wrong direction. I would have came out on this road and I would have been like, "What?"
Hey, there's a sign there that says Kalamazoo.
Oh my God. I'd be like half dead. Oh my God, I'm just gonna leave it.
Well, if you would have left it, somebody would have picked it up. I'm sure
sure.
out there. Yeah, no doubt, man. So yeah, man. I don't know. It's
Phobias.
yeah. We all have them, right?
I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that really stands out to me. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have a phobia for gun hunting, so I don't really do that much. I kind of stay away from the whole gun thing.
What is that?
Just for
I don't know.
guns in general.
Just in general. Just the whole idea of being able to get shot by in a direction you have no idea where it came from.
I'm cool if we're on the property. As
you
soon as
gotta
we
know.
go off the property and go on
Yeah.
to state land,
No, yeah.
No.
I start getting worried.
Yeah, state land would be crazy, especially around.
Especially
where I'm
when
at.
Chris was little and he'd tag along with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't happen often.
We just had somebody last year.
Yeah, but that's 1 out of 300,000 hunters. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but I mean, it's not often, But
Not often,
that's just me.
but
I guess my thing is I don't worry about much of anything. I'm not afraid of death.
I'm not afraid of death.
And you haven't met me when you want to fight.
Oh,
Snap.
Here's the one. Here's the one.
you
I'm
afraid
getting.
of these guns?
This is what I'm getting.
That looks nice.
Oh man,
It's got this
Single
is the-
shot, huh?
Yep, I want a single because I want Connor to be able to use it for
Can you
early season.
change the barrel?
What do you mean by
You
that?
should have gotten 350.
I'm confused.
On some of
This
the
is for gun hunting. This is a
No, they made a smaller one than the 350 for kid than the 450 for kids.
no way.
350 Legend or something.
What?
yeah,
Where did this come
It's a
from?
Ruger.
Ruger's got it out.
Let me see.
is that new this year?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Ruger is it Bushmaster?
Yeah, I think it goes under
Yeah, Legend.
Legend.
Ranch.
Yeah.
350
Take a look at
Legend
this thing.
rifle.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, it's like shooting a 357 out.
Is it cheaper or more money?
Probably the same.
Same.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more.
I mean, what's this good for? How far? I mean, what's the difference?
Probably
here?
about the same.
I want to say 300 yards.
Really? Then
Yeah.
what's the point of the fort? Why would you get? I guess I don't understand. What's
450's bigger round, I'm sure.
they have a single shot in this thing? Anybody or no? Or are they the only ones
I
doing
wouldn't
it?
even. You get bolt action.
What you've got to be concerned with, though, is the length of the cartridge.
What do you mean?
Why is that?
Because here you can only have a cartridge that's a certain length. It can
For
be a pistol.
350?
Well, it can be a pistol caliber, but if it exceeds the length of the cartridge, you can't use it down here
Yeah,
for
you
deer.
gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure it makes the cut.
But you just said 350 is smaller than a 450, so
Yeah, it's all about the cartridge.
Oh,
it's got
it's
to be
about the
straight
cartridge.
walled, right?
Yeah.
wow. So this is less power.
Yeah, it'll kick less.
Wow, interesting.
That's what I've been.
It's like a
told.
20
I haven't-
gauge versus
I
a
haven't
12?
I haven't shot it yet.
I mean,
But the 450.
I'm gonna get the 450
It don't-
because it's got the muzzle brake. This other one.
Yeah, and it
I
shoots.
just want a single shot. It's more safe, I think, for kids.
The
Just don't have to
450
deal with
shoots like a 20 gauge. It's just loud.
Bolt action's pretty safe.
I mean, it's not that it's not safe. I just think it's simple. I can simplify the process. I have one bullet. There's no clip. Yeah. What do you seriously? If you're gonna take a clean, accurate shot,
reality, there's no clip in my Bushmaster either.
there isn't.
It's called a magazine.
Oh yeah, you're right. You did that last time. This happened last time on the podcast.
Yeah.
Ding!
Cha-ching. Anyway, so this is the one. I'm gonna pick
that's
this
cool.
up.
I like the way it looks.
This is cheaper than
I
this, so
just
it's only
like some of the
$3.60.
TC ones. You can change the barrel out.
That
and
is
stuff.
really
That'd
cool,
be
though. I
sick.
like
It breaks in half. You can transport it in half, and it already comes with the Picatinny. So all you do is mount your scope.
You should then be able to swap.
It breaks in half.
You should be able to swap the barrel out.
You
on
probably
that for
can
different
to a different
calibers.
gun.
Yeah,
like
but
a
the
300.
Picatinny's attached to the. Well, I guess it
To the
usually
barrel.
is anyway. So
It's to the barrel. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
you would want that anyway. I'm sure
Yeah.
you can't use the same settings probably on a different.
right. Yeah, you have to reset.
Correct.
it.
Yeah. You have to have different scopes per
Right.
head,
Right.
but that's okay because, like I said, it breaks in half, so that comes off, and then it comes with a case that you can like transport it. Like it's simple.
Let's
So-
go buy him, man. Let's go.
Speaking
use it when
speaking
you
of
want.
scopes, did you guys see where Nikon's going to quit rifle scope business here in
No.
the States?
Is this an ethical decision on their dumb part?
No, something to do with they want to increase their market in Europe, more into the spotting scope, rangefinder, binocular field.
Interesting. Well,
But they're going to. Nikon's been a big name in scopes here for years.
yeah, maybe not making enough money.
Maybe they see
Maybe people be
the
smarter buying a
declining
Burris.
market.
Oh!
This podcast is brought to you by Burris.
Yeah, baby.
We were playing with the eliminator scope.
Oh
dude.
my
I
god!
want one so bad.
That thing is so sick.
When
man.
last time we talked to that guy from Burris, and he told us that Nikon was coming out.
Oh, I forgot.
The $1,500 scope was selling for $900. I should have.
They released new stuff at SHOT Show.
I should
Yes,
have bought
they
that
did.
damn thing.
Eliminator.
yeah,
Yeah,
some I think it was some red dot stuff or something.
Tell me
Yeah.
what's the eliminator do, boys? What's it do?
It's got a rangefinder.
It once
That
you,
button on the side,
Yep.
dude.
It's got a microprocessor in it to where you.
How much is it? Do we know?
$1,500. But once you
Put it on the credit
put
card.
your ballistic information, your bullet,
Yeah, you figure it all out, right?
the weight, all that. It's got a movable red dot on the crosshairs and stuff.
It's right there. Yeah.
It'll show you
Oh,
holdover,
1200,
everything. That actually isn't a bad price.
1200.
This one's a different though. This
Oh,
is-
it's on sale though because the MSRP is 16.
maybe this is
That'd
the.
be on sale.
Yep.
No, the MSRP is 16.
No, they
now.
brought prices down.
Yeah.
I just wonder if maybe one of these are more money. That one had different software. It's just an enhanced software.
Look at the 50.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, this one's more money.
Snap.
That's probably a 50. Yeah, 14.
Automatic
4 by
trajectory
16.
compensation put button with a bright red illuminator.
Oh yeah, boy!
That's some good stuff right there,
Oh, that
boy.
one right there. Look at your little
That's
hand
some
there.
good stuff. Actually, you know what I like about
Whoa!
that one? Check that one out.
Got a hand.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
You can-
That's nice.
Right,
Use
right.
your
Put it
thumb
right on the
above
stock.
right there. See
Put it
what I'm
right
saying?
on
We're
the
gonna
stock.
plug it now. We're gonna plug it.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's pretty cool right there. I like
I
that.
gotta see this because
What we got here? For
I think there's some
$20?
new AR scope.
Red dots, there they are right there. Oh, boom.
One had a
Fast fire.
Oh snap! Got an ARQ side mount.
Oh, that's the one they were talking. I think the bottom one. Is that the one they were talking about?
Red
Scroll
dot,
down.
Firefighters.
No,
No, that's just a
I gotta ask.
No, we gonna
So
get
there's
that.
something like it
No,
flipped,
he-
right?
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
saying-
told us they're releasing them. We just couldn't talk about it until it's SHOT Show.
Whoops. Is the shot show
Show's
over?
going right now.
It's on right now.
Hello, boys.
Oh hell no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get to
shot
work.
show
But
going
anyway.
on right now.
All right. Well, go get yourself Burr's sight. We're gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time on the BHP.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.